Powerful galactic beings, welcome back to another video. Let's cut straight through the noise. If you've been repeatedly seeing the same number, whether it's 111, 444, 555, or some sequence that keeps stalking your reality, this is not random. It's not a cute coincidence. It's not just angel numbers, as pop spirituality likes to call them. It's much deeper than that. These numbers are contact points, coded activations, and interdimensional triggers designed to wake up a part of you that's been dormant until now. This is how your higher self, your soul family, and yes, the new Earth grid, are trying to reach you. When your conscious mind is too distracted, when your heart is too burdened by 3D chaos, they use frequency patterns like numbers to bypass your ego and deliver a message directly to your core. And no, it's not always a specific message in words. Often, it's a reminder, a nudge, an energetic ping that says, stay present. We're with you. Something is unfolding. So if you're seeing 111, it doesn't mean, just think positive. That's surface level. 111 is a direct reminder from your soul contract that you are shifting realities. It is often seen when you are being contacted by your own higher self, trying to break through your matrix patterns. It appears when you're being nudged to pay attention to your thoughts, not because they manifest instantly, but because your entire energetic alignment is being recalibrated to a new timeline. Seeing 222. That's not just about balance or relationships. That is your galactic soul family pinging you to ground yourself. It often appears when you are emotionally destabilized, especially after spiritual breakthroughs. It's a reminder that you are not alone, but also that you must learn to find energetic sovereignty even when others aren't validating your growth. It's your guide saying, you've outgrown the old emotional patterns. Step into your new emotional authority. If you're constantly seeing 333, it's time to ask yourself where you've been dismissing your divine expression. 333 is not just a sign of protection, it's a wake-up call. It's the number that says, you've been compromising your truth. Speak up. Align your thoughts, speech, and action. You're being contacted not just to feel safe, but to become dangerous to systems that fed off your silence. 444 is the Earth code. It's one of the most misunderstood numbers in spirituality. People say it means you're protected, and yes, that's true, but deeper than that, 444 is the activation code of New Earth builders. This number is often seen by those who are on the front line of the frequency shift. It shows up when you're being called to step into your sacred assignment, even when you feel unready, unsupported, or invisible. 444 reminds you that your stability doesn't come from outside. It comes from your cellular memory of who you are. 555 is when the chaos hits. This number is not just about change, it's about frequency disruption. If you're seeing 555, you're probably in the middle of losing something, or someone. You may be breaking out of a job, a toxic cycle, a false identity, or a karmic loop. This number appears to remind you, disruption is not destruction, it's liberation. The shift you're in feels like collapse, but it's actually divine reordering. You're being contacted by your future self saying, keep going. Don't rebuild the same prison you escaped. 666, despite the religious fear around it, is a code of deep embodiment. If you keep seeing this number, you're being contacted with a hard truth. You've been living in your mind or spiritual bypass, and you need to come back into the body. 666 is about physical balance. It's about healing your relationship with material reality, money, sexuality, food, rest, the parts of yourself religion taught you to suppress. This number shows up when it's time to integrate your humanity with your divinity. 777. This is ancestral contact. When you see 777, especially in clusters, you are being pulled into a deeper soul lineage. This number means your ancient bloodline is awakening within you. You may start to dream differently, speak differently, or feel disconnected from everything around you. That's because your identity is being peeled back. This number calls you into solitude and study. It's time to remember what your human mind forgot. 888. That's a soul abundance code. But it's not about getting rich quick. It's about reclaiming the natural abundance you were cut off from. If you see 888 while you're struggling financially, emotionally, or spiritually, it's not because your bank account is about to magically grow. It's because you're being contacted by the part of you that knows how to collapse timelines, create wealth through alignment, and break ancestral poverty codes. But you must stop playing small. 888 is an invitation to lead. 999. Completion. This is a sacred number for soul contracts ending. When you keep seeing 999, you are being contacted to release something, an outdated identity, a karmic lover, a spiritual teacher who's become a cage, or even an entire version of yourself. This number says, what once served you is now becoming poison. Let it go. The old you is dying, not because you failed, but because you've outgrown the skin that held your survival. Then there's 000. This one is often ignored, but it's one of the most powerful numbers in the New Earth frequency. If you see 000 often, especially during moments of despair, burnout, or disillusionment, you are being contacted with a sacred message: return to source. 000 is the number of divine void. It's a reset code. It says, you've completed the level. Stop repeating it. Enter the unknown and trust what's next. This number is raw. It's cosmic. It's the beginning before the beginning. Seeing it means your ego is crumbling so your light body can emerge. Here's what most won't tell you: these numbers are not just about meanings. They are frequencies. When you see them, don't just Google their meaning. Breathe. Be present. Tune in. Ask your spirit, why now? Ask, what am I avoiding? What have I outgrown? Where am I being called? Because the moment you see that number, you're already in contact. You don't need a seance. You don't need a guru. The message is not outside of you. It's encoded in your cells. And let me be clear, if you're seeing a number consistently, even if it's not a spiritual one, pay attention. Some of you are seeing 123, or 1234, or your birthday everywhere. Some are seeing 911, 144, 313, 808. These are personal codes. They're not mass messages. They're your soul's way of pulling you out of autopilot. The new earth is not built on generic signs. It's built on intimate remembrance. So don't get lost in the internet meanings. Get curious about your inner response. Now here's something deeper. If you're seeing multiple repeating numbers at once, it means your soul is in synchronization mode. You are weaving multiple timelines, identities, and dimensions into one coherent stream. This often happens when you're on the brink of a massive spiritual unlock, a new gift, a new power, a new memory. But only if you listen. Only if you stay awake. Most people ignore the signs because they still live by logic. But your soul speaks in symbols. If you feel like these numbers are haunting you, showing up when you're doubting yourself, during moments of fear, or just before making big decisions, that's not random. That's your spiritual support team overriding your doubt. Because the frequency of these numbers cuts through fear and lands in your nervous system like a coded reminder, you are divinely supported, but we can't walk this path for you. So what's the point of all this? The new earth is not just about frequency, it's about awareness. It's about learning how to navigate your human life through divine signals. These numbers are like breadcrumbs from your higher self, guiding you out of density and into clarity. But they only work if you follow them with action. Numbers are not wishes. They're assignments. They are cosmic pings that say, shift your thoughts. Change your habits. Trust the path. You're not crazy, you're awakening. This is contact. This is the transmission. And now that you've received it, you are responsible for what you do next. Now that you understand why those repeating numbers are appearing, let's dive deeper into how to work with them. Seeing a number like 111, 444, or 888 over and over again is not a passive experience. It's a signal, a direct energy transmission, a cosmic fingerprint meant to guide your next step. But the number alone doesn't have magic. Your response does. Step 1. Slow down and observe. Every time you see the number pattern, pause. Stop whatever you're doing. Breathe deeply. Notice how your body feels. Are you tense? Are your shoulders tight? Is your heart racing? Or are you calm, clear, and curious? Your body's reaction is often the first clue to the deeper message. These sequences bypass the logical mind. They speak to your nervous system and your subconscious mind. Step 2. Ask a clear question. When you see the number, ask, why am I seeing this now? What am I being asked to release or reclaim? Then just stay silent and listen. Answers often come as feelings, impressions, images, or a subtle knowing, not words. You might feel a pull toward forgiveness, a mental shift in an old belief, or a sudden need to create boundaries. These messages are triggers for activation. Step 3. Identify the theme behind your number. Each number sequence carries distinct themes. For instance, 111, Identity Reboot. 222, Emotional Sovereignty. 333, Divine Expression. 444, Energetic Consolidation. 555, Radical Upheaval. 666, Body/Mind Integration. 777, Source Lineage Connection. 888, Manifestation Mastery. 999, Spiritual Completion. But if you're seeing 2 or more at once, like 222 and 888, you're being contacted on multiple frequencies at once. That indicates overlapping activations. Maybe you're healing old emotion, 222, while shifting into new abundance codes, 888. Sit with that energy. Journal about it. Step 4. Integrate with action. This isn't just cosmic messaging, it's activation. If you keep seeing 333, for example, you're being asked to step into your voice. Maybe you're meant to speak up, start a YouTube channel, or share your truth publicly. If you see 666 often, it's about healing your relationship with your body. Hydrate, move, ground, eat clean. If 555 appears, something in your life is exiting. Welcome the change, and don't go backward in fear. Integration means doing the aligned next step, not just thinking about it. Feel the impulse. Take that step. Then observe how the number patterns change, or stay steady. If they disappear, a cycle has moved. If they persist, more layers remain. Step 5. Use dream work and symbol journaling. Write down every occurrence. Where were you when it appeared? What thoughts were you having? What had just happened or were you about to do? Then write the next dream or intuitive insight you had. Over time, patterns emerge. You might discover that every time you saw 444, you had a dream about light shifting in your DNA. Or every 111 preceded an intuitive download about your purpose. Recording these sequences trains your subconscious to notice guidance faster. It strengthens your energetic connection to the new Earth grid. It also gives you proof that you're not imagining things. This is a spiritual communication protocol. You're coding your energy to receive and respond. Step 6. Trust and let go of judgment. It's easy to doubt ourselves, wondering if we're overreacting or attaching meaning to coincidence. But the universe works through repetition. If that number is constant, it's intentional. The cosmic pattern doesn't care about fear or skepticism. It won't soften just because your rational mind is resistant. Instead, ask, am I ready to be broken open by this frequency? Saying yes, even if you can't fully see it, shifts your receptivity immensely. Step 7. Align daily practices. Ground yourself with daily rituals that anchor higher frequency. Meditate, bathe in salt water, move your body with intention, walk barefoot in nature, breathe deeply while visualizing energy centers aligning. These practices calibrate your nervous system to hold the vibration you're being contacted to embody. When those numbers appear again, amid calm, present energy, you'll hear the message instead of it triggering anxiety or overwhelm. Because the world is shifting. Systems are collapsing. Backed agendas are failing. And a new operating system is loading on Earth, one based on unity, truth, DNA activation, and collective awakening. The number patterns are your invitation to not only receive the download, but to become the upgrade. They're not about spiritual vanity. They're about systemic Reggie-gang. These coded visits ask, are you ready to co-create a new Earth version of your life? To hold the timeline of peace, authenticity, and service. To clear the old grid and anchor the new frequency in your body. If you commit to listening and acting, you won't just receive support. You'll become a living contact point for others who are waking up. Your presence, choices, and alignment will rewrite the energy field of the planet one number at a time. You've seen the numbers. They've followed you across phone screens, clocks, addresses, and receipts. At first, you brushed it off, maybe thought it was a fluke. But then it became too frequent, too specific, too loud to ignore. At some point, you realized this wasn't just coincidence, it was contact. And now, it's time to move beyond decoding the numbers and begin embodying the message they've been trying to give you all along. Seeing these numbers isn't the destination. It's the doorway. Every repeating number you encounter is a form of divine communication nudging you toward deeper awareness of who you really are, what you came here to do, and what needs to fall away for that purpose to come fully online. This isn't about numerology as entertainment. It's about soul alignment as destiny. Let's get something clear, not everyone who sees angel numbers is chosen, and not everyone who doesn't see them is missing something. The universe speaks in a language tailored to each soul. If numbers are your language, then they're being used to accelerate your awakening, but they are not the awakening itself. They're not meant to distract you from action. They're meant to remind you to take it. If you've been seeing 111, it's a call to alignment. Not mental alignment or temporary excitement, but soul-deep congruence between your thoughts, energy, and actions. Are you living in truth? Or are you still playing small in fear of your own potential? When 111 shows up repeatedly, the universe isn't patting you on the back. It's reminding you that the time to walk in your divine path is now, not later. Delay is a form of self-sabotage. Every 111 you ignore is a doorway you're refusing to walk through. Let's take 222 as an example. It's about balance, harmony, and trusting divine timing. But that's not just some fluffy affirmation. It means you're being asked to surrender control in areas where your ego has been running the show. If you've been pushing too hard, trying to force a relationship, a job, or an outcome into place, 222 appears as a reminder that you're out of sync. And until you let go, the resistance will increase. This number is less about comfort and more about redirection. Sometimes the divine isn't telling you everything is working out, it's telling you to stop fighting what's obviously falling apart. Now let's talk about 333. A number many people associate with guidance, expansion, and truth. But here's the part most people avoid. 333 often appears when you're holding back your voice. It shows up when you're not expressing your truth, when you're staying silent to keep the peace, or when you're abandoning your own values to fit in. It's not encouragement to keep going as you are, it's a wake-up call to step into your power and speak what's real, even if it shakes up the room. Especially if it shakes up the room. For 44 is stability and foundation, yes, but it's also about reevaluating what kind of foundation you're actually building. Are your habits aligned with your vision? Are your relationships supporting your evolution or draining your light? This number often shows up when you're doing surface-level work but avoiding the root. It says, enough playing around. Build something that can last. Not based on trends or illusions, but on soul truth. 555 is change. Everyone says that. But few understand that it doesn't mean change will feel good. 555 is disruptive. It breaks routines, collapses false timelines, and tears away comfort zones. If you see 555 and then lose a job, go through a breakup, or find yourself in unexpected chaos, understand, this is not punishment. This is cosmic surgery. You're being cut away from what your ego wanted so your soul can finally breathe. Then there's 666, a number many have misunderstood. It isn't demonic. It's deeply human. It points you inward. Are you too focused on the material world? Have you been outsourcing your worth to money, status, or validation? Seeing 666 isn't a curse. It's a mirror. It says, return to your center. Reclaim your divinity. If you feel unworthy or stuck when this number appears, it's not because the universe is against you, it's because you've forgotten your source. It's time to remember. 777 means you're on the spiritual path. But it's also a warning. It says, don't get lazy now. Many people see 777 and assume they've arrived. But this number often shows up right before you're tested. It invites deeper surrender, not spiritual ego. It's a call to integrate everything you've learned. And if you don't, you'll be given the lesson again, only this time, with sharper edges. 888 is abundance, but not just financial. It's the kind of wholeness that shows up when your inner world is aligned with your outer choices. If you've been seeing 888 but struggling financially, don't assume the universe is ignoring you. Ask instead, where am I still holding on to scarcity inside myself? Have I been hoarding energy, clinging to the old, or fearing lack? 888 doesn't mean money is falling from the sky. It means your frequency is finally compatible with expansion, but you must act. You must say yes to opportunities, to flow, to circulating energy without gripping it. 999 is closure. It's the death before the rebirth. When this number appears, you're being asked to let go of something you've outgrown, whether that's a belief, a relationship, an identity, or even a role you've played for too long. Seeing 999 is like standing at the edge of a cliff. You don't get to see the bridge until you start walking. It won't feel comfortable, but it will feel inevitable. 000 is the void, the 0-point field, the place of total reset. If this number is showing up often, you're not in a cycle, you're in a death and rebirth portal. Nothing is supposed to make sense. You're not meant to have clarity. You're meant to surrender completely and trust that when the dust settles, your true path will reveal itself. This is the womb of creation. Don't rush the process. Let yourself dissolve. Now that you understand the deeper meaning behind these sequences, it's time to stop waiting for the numbers to validate you and start living as if you are already the message. Because you are. The numbers aren't separate from you. They're a reflection of your energy, your alignment, your readiness. Here's the truth, you're being contacted. But it's not just angels or guides. It's your higher self. It's your soul. It's the version of you who already remembers, already knows, already walks in power. Every time you see a sequence, that version of you is tapping on your shoulder saying, let's go. You're ready. Stop stalling. If you keep seeing these numbers, it's because you've asked for guidance at some point. And now that it's here, your only job is to receive it. Not just mentally, but in your behavior. Your choices. Your boundaries. Your relationships. Your work. Your lifestyle. Are you living as someone who is being guided? Or are you still negotiating with your doubt? Remember, guidance doesn't always show up with fireworks. Sometimes it shows up in subtle nudges, repeated patterns, and quiet whispers. And if you ignore those, you'll get louder ones. Not because the universe is cruel, but because your soul refuses to let you sleepwalk anymore. You've come too far for that. So here's the invitation. Next time you see that number, whatever it is, pause. Breathe. Feel. Then ask. What am I being asked to embody right now? What action aligns with this message? Where am I resisting what I've already been shown? And then do the thing. Take the step. Have the conversation. Let go of the attachment. Say yes to the opportunity. Or say no to the thing you've outgrown. Because at the end of the day, the numbers are just breadcrumbs. The real transformation happens when you stop chasing signs and start becoming the signal. You don't need constant reminders when you become the embodiment of the message. That's what it means to be contacted. Not to be given all the answers, but to remember that you are the answer. You always were. The numbers were just the reflection. Now, it's time to live the truth. I hope this video was really helpful. See you in the next video. Peace, love, and life.